Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henry Chai. Currently, I chair the Fido China Working Group. Also, I run a small company right now in China to develop and deliver the Fido-based online authentication solution for customers. But actually, I'm so glad and honored being here to share the progress about Fido. But actually, I'm not the new face to APKIC. Since I attended nearly 1 year ago, I attended the Taipei APKIC seminar, and I'm so glad right now I'm back again to report what we have done within this year and to share with you what Fido can do. So, what is Fido? In short, it's a fast identity online. First of all, it's a technology trying to address the password issue. I still remember at the early days, the one slogan about Fido is password dies. However, right now, we achieved this goal. The reason is, Fido is not only a technology, but also Fido is an alliance. In this slide I mentioned there's more than 250 companies right now joined Fido. However, I received the latest update yesterday saying that right now there are already 263 members right now within Fido Alliance. Because for any new technology to be really successful, or in another word, to be really benefit for the end user, it needs the whole ecosystem's embracement. Especially for any technology for security or for online authentication like Fido, we need this technology to be embraced from the chip manufacturer to the trust environment manufacturer, to either biometrics module manufacturer, to phone OEMs, to mobile OS, and also, of course, to the relying parties. For each of them, they need embrace this new technology. Then the end user can benefit from it. So I'm so glad right now there are more than 260 memberships right now within Fido. And the most important thing is not only within Fido Alliance, but also Fido already established more than 20 liaison programs together with other either alliance or groups or organizations, just like why I'm sitting here, because Fido has built a liaison program together with APKIC, and also for Mobile Connect, we also have a similar relationship, because we believe that Fido is only one technology for online authentication, but we would like to make this technology to be either interoperable or compatible, or either we sitting together to provide the final best online authentication solution for the end user. That's why I'm here. So today, that's what we have today for Fido. So from the alliance point of view, the alliance mission is quite similar to any other technology alliances. First of all, we need the whole industry to strengthen this technology, to make this technology be in to develop the specifications about the technology, and for each one within this whole ecosystem to follow these specifications. This is first of all. But secondly, we spend a lot of time and effort to promote this technology, to push the Fido adoption worldwide. I'm so glad that later I will share some successful cases here. And the third one is, given Fido is just a non-profitable industrial alliance, we need making this technology to be the real international standards, and also we made some progress on these aspects. So this is from a Fido Alliance point of view. So what Fido really is, pretty simple. It's trying to address the password issue. We live with our passwords for more than 30 or 40 years. I believe everybody in this room has more than at least 30 passwords for different services. We have a different level of security for our own passwords. However, everybody knows password recently has so many difficulties, either from ease of use point of view or from the whole system security point of view. Password is already out of date, even though we have to live with them at our daily life. So FIDO trying to address this issue from the very beginning, from the architecture point of view. Traditionally, we have password. So for every service providers, they have a centralized credential database protected by many different kinds of security technologies to have a fight with hackers to fight their core credential database. However, I believe everybody knows recently, each year, there are at least one big credential database being cracked in the world. Which triggered the technology, people trying to think, can we solve this issue from the very beginning? And FIDO trying to give this answer by splitting the traditional authentication process to two phases. One part is everybody has its own devices, either your PC, your smartphone, or even some other new fancy devices. And on the other side, the service providers or relying parties, they can trust or be using any of existing technologies to trust or authenticate that device, and the device authenticates the user. By splitting those traditional one-phase password mechanism to this two-stage, we can see we can get the beauty on both security enhancement and also giving the end user more user-friendly user experience. For example, today almost every smartphone has fingerprint, and recently very smart models has the iris recognition capabilities. And also we learned there are new biometrics-based technologies like facial recognition already being deployed in several banks right now in China, and also like speaker identification technologies, simply using your voice to identify who you are right now. It's also being commercially deployed right now in China. So for your device to authenticate who you are, right now we have so many different technologies. And on the other side, for the service providers or relying parties or banks or any others, they can use the traditional crypto technologies to authenticate that device, making that device trusted and unbreakable. So by simply split those one-phase password mechanism to those two-phase authentication stage, right now we can get a new phase of online authentication, which we call it FIDO, Fast Identity Online. Or in another word, when we're talking about the ID or authentication, actually it means a lot. For example, it may mean the ID federation. It also may mean user management, or it also may mean a single sign-on. It means a lot of things. But for FIDO itself, it's trying to provide a very thin layer. It's only focusing on the authentication part by those two stage of authentication. That's also why FIDO Alliance established on year 2013, early 2013, but right now it gets widely adopted already. For those more than 200 members right now, it includes almost all the major IT players right now, together with several MNOs like NTT.com in Japan, and also together with several relying parties like PayPal, Bank of America, and also several other major card providers in the world. So I think the one reason for this FIDO being widely adopted right now is also because FIDO only focusing on authentication. FIDO does nothing else. So this gives you a very brief history about the FIDO in development. Before FIDO established on year 2013 February, and also we launched the first specification draft 1 year later, and we finalized the FIDO 1.0 on December, almost 2 years ago, December 2014. And later on, with Microsoft and Google joined FIDO, we extend FIDO specification from UAF only, UAF is the server-based authentication, to UAF plus U2F. U2F here means using second form factor for authentication. And starting from almost 1 year ago, FIDO starting working with W3C to making FIDO be part of the web API. And I'm happy to share here is early next year, I was told it's most likely in February, W3C will finalize their next generation web authentication working draft, which is FIDO 2.0 based. So I think this is a major development about the FIDO itself. And today, after 3 or 4 years development, today there are existing several successful commercial deployment based on FIDO already. The first one is NTT.com. NTT.com built their ID system based on FIDO technology. So today, if you would like to enjoy the mobile internet services, more than 100 provided by NTT.com, you need to have a FIDO-enabled phone there. And on the other side, for the banks, Bank of America is the first wave embrace about the FIDO technologies. They developed they upgraded their mobile banking solutions to based on FIDO. And right now, within Asia, Korea, more than 70% of Korea banks already deployed FIDO to upgrade their existing authentication mechanism. Of course, thanks for the FIDO Korea forum. And on the other side, for the reliant parties, or in mainland China, we call them third-party payment providers, because they are not banks, but they are payment providers for e-commerce. These are major usage cases right now for FIDO. So we have PayPal, we have eBay, and also within China we have Alibaba, Alipay, JD.com, which is quite like Amazon in US. And Baidu Wallet and Best Pay here. Best Pay, even though the name is a payment company, but actually it's a subsidiary company about the China Telecom. So right now we have a very rich interaction with 3 major China MNOs to trying to engage with them to develop a FIDO-based solution also for those MNO. Thanks. Mr. Tommy Soinin of Gemato just mentioned about the Mobile Connect. Actually, I host the Mobile Connect seminar this summer at Shanghai GSMA. So we believe there will be a lot of things in common that FIDO, together with other technologies like APKIC, like Mobile Connect, like others, we can working together to provide the most strongest online authentication solutions for end user. At the same time, the end user can enjoy leveraging the new advanced technologies like fingerprint, like iris recognition for themselves. And the last but not least is that the one major segment for the FIDO successful is for the devices. That's why we have the Google, we have Microsoft, we have W3C, we have rich interaction with them. So I'm happy to share that starting with early next year, all the major smart devices you can find in the market will be FIDO enabled, or together with W3C's new HTML specification, every new browser will be FIDO enabled by leveraging the W3C's new web authentication components. So that's a current deployment or announcement right now you can find for the FIDO deployment. And within this year, I think there are several major milestones for FIDO development. The first one is we have several key banks in Korea deployed FIDO, and they believe FIDO is a good thing and a good direction for them to go for. And the Docom upgraded their existing system already. And another important, very interesting point is UK government actually right now is leveraging FIDO to build their authentication framework for the end user, for all UK citizens. We launched this news at March of this year, and I believe that work is to extend FIDO from just our mobile internet authentication technologies to some technologies can really useful for everybody. And the last one is Baidu Wallet. You know, Baidu is just a Google-like company within China, and their wallet right now is the number 2 mobile wallet in China. And the first one is, of course, Alipay in China. This is just give you some screenshot about how can we deploy the FIDO within JD.com, and the end user, the JD user, just simply using their fingerprint for login and also for the transaction confirmation, which definitely greatly improves their existing user experience for the payment process. And another, of course, APKIC. I'm not sure how many people here and know the details, and I should say that between FIDO Alliance and APKIC, we started discussion about the collaboration for more than half a year. We have reached discussions by conference calls, and also in this October at the Hong Kong FIDO plenary, APKIC team gave a very good discussion, a very good presentation, and generated a very good response during that FIDO plenary. And I believe in the near future, our two organizations that we need sitting more closely together to develop what will be the most suitable scenarios and technologies to leveraging advantages on both sides to provide the online authentication solutions for end user. One successful case is in Korea. Korea is, of course, it's a PKI-based system for many years, but right now they, together with FIDO, to trying to enjoy some some benefits FIDO can provide. In another word, for W3C, I already mentioned W3C. Today, in your Windows 10 machine, Windows 10, the new Edge browser is the first browser which deployed FIDO 2.0. And we believe after the W3C officially announced the web authentication component, all the new browsers next year will start support FIDO. And of course, not only the Edge browser, but also for all Windows 10 machine. If you use Windows 10, you must be familiar with the Windows 10 Hello program. But actually, the Hello program, Windows Hello, is based on FIDO. But Microsoft will announce this message also early next year. Don't listen to me, just listen to Microsoft. I mentioned a collaboration with APKIC, collaboration with Mobile Connect, but also today there is a very important collaboration happening right now is FIDO together with EMVCo. EMVCo recently realized how important about the mobile payment and what will be the influence. They spend a huge amount of effort to investigate the influence for mobile payment, what mobile payment is the new requirement on devices to make the end user enjoy the new technologies. And given FIDO spend a huge amount of effort to enable the whole industry especially for the device industry, to support the new things. So right now, those two organization discussions is in detailed discussion. We outline all the technology details one item by item together. And I believe also pretty soon you can see the final specifications on both sides to making Fido making Fido technology be part of EMVCO new specifications. And also, I forgot to mention another one, not in my slides, but quite similar things happening with the global platform. Global platform right now is a industry standard organization to provide the trust execution environment for smartphone. Also, we are working together right now to outline what benefits Fido can provide to the global platform. And hopefully, also next year, we can announce the technical specifications to integrate those two things together. So you can see for any new technology to be really useful, successful, we have to work with the whole ecosystem plus the multiple various different organizations together to make things really useful. So this is the current certified Fido product logos. Right now, I believe there are more than this is 213, but actually there are more than 230 products already certified by Fido. That's why we have this alliance. The alliance to simple this technology, and through the formal certification logo program, we can ensure the products listed here can talk to each other flawlessly. And those are existing Fido-enabled smartphones and devices. I will not mention them in detail. I'm proud to say that most of the famous brands you find today in the market, they have Fido-enabled or they have Fido-enabled plan right now. And we cannot forget Apple. Even though Apple may be the only famous IT company right now, not a Fido member yet, but actually all the Apple devices or iOS devices today also could be Fido enabled right now. And another very important aspect for the online authentication is today we have several topics attached at this point. If we're providing some common technologies for online authentication, actually it can and also be capable to assist the different government officials to leveraging these online authentication technologies. There are multiple activities already ongoing for years, like EID, not many, but several trials right now ongoing on different regions of this world. So from Fido point of view, Fido is just an industrial alliance. So to follow each country's regulation, or maybe they have quite a different focus and quite a different requirements, is right now become more and more important for Fido Alliance. So that's why starting from early next year, Fido introduced a special membership called government membership. UK government is the first one, and follows the NIST, National Institute of Standardization and Technology of US government. And also, I'm proud to say that in mainland China today, there are already 2 organizations joined Fido as members. Here, I only mentioned one, China Electronics Standardization Institute, but I have another one already. So the reason is we have to, as a pure technology provider, we have to make this technology follow strictly for each country's law or regulation. So this is just a start, and I believe there will be more and more government will be interested in the Fido technologies and to see this technology, how this technology can assist them for citizens' online authentication purpose. I still remember that maybe 10 years ago, there is a saying that talking about it on the internet, nobody knows you are a dog. But right now, we have to identify ourselves as a real person to enjoy the mobile internet technologies, to enjoy the so many different kind of services. So here is just brief recall about the FIDO Alliance. Right now, let me introduce the FIDO China Working Group a little bit. FIDO China Working Group, I'm proud to be the first regional working group within FIDO Alliance, established this January. But right now, FIDO already have 3 regional working groups, 1 Japan and 1 India already. We are the first because, not only because the mainland China, within China, the market size, the market, the population, the market complexity, the market innovations, but also because within China there are so many different government officials or departments has different requirements on online authentication technologies. Sometimes those requirements may even conflict with each other. So we have to, FIDO as an industrial de facto things, we have to making those technologies being acceptable by the government. So that's why we have the FIDO China Working Group. The first goal is we lead collaborations within FIDO Alliance in China region. And the second, of course, promote deployment for FIDO solution. And I think that maybe the most important part is collect the local regulatory requirements. And finally, we trying to influence the development about the FIDO technology to make it more acceptable for China region. So right now we have more than 30 China-based members, and this is just some of them. We have Alibaba, Lenovo, Feitian, and Aegis as the board member. They are FIDO board member, and also we have several other different members right now together to making FIDO China Working Group really useful for both alliance and for the industry. This is a very interesting and simplified slides. I will not mention it in detail one by one, but I just want to try to give you a basic understanding about how many government officials or departments could be involved in a new online authentication technology. There are several different segments. The first one is called Information Security and Technology Related Authority. This is one segment. And the second is all the fintech related regulations. For example, in China, all the banks, their first concern for any new authentication technology is whether it's regulation compliant. Regulation here does not mean regulation by law, but means regulation from central bank. So we have to dealing with those central bank heavily on this part. And the third one is for the mobile internet space, we have telecommunication and related authority, MIT, Ministry of Information and Industry Technology. For example, CTTL and MIT, actually they host all the certifications for mobile devices. Without their certification, no such devices can be sold within China. So this is CTTL. It's a China Telecommunication Testing Lab. And the CES is just, I mentioned, the China Electronic Standardization Institute. And the fourth one is we have, in China, we have a cryptographics related authority. It's an independent operated authority. They issue the permit for all crypto-related server products within China. Without that permit, no one can sell in China for those server products. And the last one is for the other related research institutes. We have different kinds of research institutes, just like every other country. But one of their major responsibilities is they will provide technology and standard recommendations to those departments. So as we FIDO, just as a technical industry alliance, we have to dealing with and talk to all those parties to learn their concerns on authentication technology and to address their concerns and may either convince them or either influence the future development about the FIDO technology itself. So this is one major work about the FIDO China working group here. So I mentioned that for CESI, I'm happy to say that we convinced them that join FIDO to leverage the advancement about the world advanced technology is a beneficial thing for them. So they joined FIDO this September as a government membership. And also from another point of view, we are happy to say that we just launched the world first FIDO certification lab in China. I mean, the world first not means in China first, it's a first, the FIDO's first lab. Because previously, even though we already have more than 200 products being certified by FIDO, however, FIDO Alliance itself does not have a dedicated certification lab. Its typical way for FIDO doing certification is hosting a one-week event. Every company sending their products there, doing all the testing work and issue the certification. And right now, within CTTL, we have a dedicated accredited lab for FIDO, so which it can serve for all the certification purposes, not only for mainland China, but also for AP region. At least they can save a lot of travel costs. So we just launched this month, 18th of November of this year. On the other side, of course, we're doing some kind of localization work for FIDO, not only like translation, but also just for example, in China, all the crypto technology-related software server needed to get the permit. I mentioned that, but to get the permit, those products need integrate a China-based crypto algorithm. It's different. I mean, you can hardly say which one is better, but it's different with worldwide. So we helped to influence FIDO architecture to making this crypto algorithm to be pluggable, so that we can pass all the regulation requests. So this is one of the work we have done. So those for the major brands here in China, we already supporting FIDO now, like Huawei, Lenovo, Copilot, TV, ZOK. And we are still working on more. And I'm proud to add Xiaomi here. Xiaomi just signed the contract with us to be FIDO enabled. And from the relying party point of view, here we have several fingerprint-based deployment, Alipay, JD, Baidu, WeBank, and also we have a fingerprint plus iris-based commercial deployment today, right now, for Best Pay under China Telecom. And also a similar solution, integrate both fingerprint plus iris for one commercial bank is also in deployment. And I hope I can announce this message within this calendar year, just within a month. So this is a very quick recall about all the FIDO deployment and something happening in China. And thank you very much.